I'm sort of the orchestra leader, and I have a lot of talent in that orchestra. So what I do is I show them off. We have some great spokespeople, people like Chris Murphy and Brian Schatz.
And I've been criticizing them for 8 years for doing it, pointing out that it's not the job of the media to take sides.
All right, buckle up, folks, because we've got a political drama brewing that's got everyone talking, from Capitol Hill all the way to the coffee machine at your office. Chuck Schumer, the longtime Democratic senator from New York, is at the center of a political firestorm that's as messy as it is dramatic. You'd think after decades in Washington, the guy would know how to dodge some heat. But oh no, this one has him squarely in the hot seat. And let us tell you, the reactions are as wild as the story itself.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's sudden change of heart about the Republican spending bill helped avoid government shutdown, but opened him up to some harsh criticism.
So here's the deal. Schumer recently made the controversial decision to side with Republicans on a spending bill to keep the government running. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. According to his critics, both from inside his party and out, this move handed former President Donald Trump and his new sidekick in chaos, Elon Musk, the keys to dismantle crucial programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Yep, you heard that right. The very safety nets millions of Americans rely on are now supposedly at risk, and Schumer's being painted as the guy who opened the door for all of it. Now let's rewind for some context. Schumer, who's been in the Senate since 1999 and once held the title of Majority Leader, has always been seen as a savvy operator. But lately, it seems like his knack for navigating the political battlefield might be slipping. Critics argue he's become so focused on playing the long game that he's forgotten who he's supposed to be fighting for. And if you think that's just coming from the opposition party, think again. The loudest boos are coming from his own side, and boy, are they loud.
On the one hand, people were clamoring, do something now, do something now. Now, do we have to act and do we have to fight these Republicans, this right-wing group,
the MAGA.
Take his recent appearance on a certain daytime talk show, you know the one. 5 hosts, a table, and opinions flying left and right. Yep, The View. Schumer stopped by to promote his new book, something about anti-Semitism, but instead found himself under attack by none other than Sunny Hostin, who didn't hold back. She flat out told him, "I think you caved. Ouch." That's the kind of on-air moment that makes you cringe and grab the popcorn at the same time. Hostin was relentless, accusing Schumer of playing by the rules, while the Republicans had thrown the rulebook out the window. She even claimed his decision had set the stage for Trump and Musk to gut essential programs. And let's be real, when you've got someone calling you out on national television, it's not just a bad day, it's a PR disaster. But Schumer, ever the politician, tried to defend himself, saying, "No one wants to fight more than me, and no one fights more than me." Sure, Chuck, but with critics like Hostin and even some progressive members of Congress questioning his choices, that's a tough sell.
And then you end up in this shutdown. Let me tell you something. If we ended up a shutdown 3 weeks from now, people would come to me and they'd say, they just cut off my Medicaid.
And let's talk about those critics for a second. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's never been shy about calling out her own party, has reportedly been grumbling about Schumer's leadership, or lack thereof. Some are even speculating that she might be eyeing his Senate seat. Imagine that showdown. If AOC decides to run, Schumer might as well start packing up his Senate office now. But it's not just the progressives taking aim. Even the more moderate Democrats are scratching their heads over Schumer's latest move. Senator Michael Bennet from Colorado didn't outright call for Schumer to step down, but he came pretty close. At a recent town hall, he told attendees, "It's important for people to know when it's time to go." Translation, maybe it's time for Chuck to hang it up.
But as for the Senate caucus, of which I'm the leader, I should be the leader. And let me just say this. One of the things I am known to be very good at is how to win Senate seats.
And then there's Trump. Oh, Trump, always ready to stir the pot. After Schumer's vote, Trump took to his own social media platform to congratulate him, calling the decision gutsy and courageous. Now, if you know anything about Trump, you know he doesn't hand out compliments unless there's something in it for him. Was he trolling? Probably, but that didn't stop Schumer from getting roasted for it. Critics pointed out that if Trump's applauding your decision, you might want to rethink it.
Words, I'm a strategist in terms of recruiting candidates, helping the candidates run campaigns and win it. Look, winning in 2026 in the House and Senate, which could stop Trump once and for all, is vitally...
Let's not forget Elon Musk, who somehow managed to go from tech mogul to political lightning rod in record time. Musk has been accused of helping Trump push through radical changes, and Schumer's vote has only added fuel to that fire. Schumer even mentioned Musk by name during his defense on The View, calling him one of the people who could have done serious damage during a government shutdown. But honestly, the mention of Musk just made things worse for Schumer, as it highlighted the billionaire's growing influence over Republican policy.
We are united in going after Trump and showing the American people that he is making the middle class pay for the tax cuts on the rich.
And then there's the generational divide within the Democratic Party. Younger lawmakers like Representative Jasmine Crockett have openly questioned Schumer's leadership, pointing out that his style doesn't resonate with the party's base anymore. Even House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries dodged questions about Schumer's decision, which, let's be honest, says a lot. If your own colleagues are distancing themselves, you know you're in trouble.
Which, by the way, how annoying is The View getting? God, they're insufferable, that lot, aren't they?
Right.
It's just a side effect.
But let's not pretend this is just about Chuck Schumer. This moment is exposing a much bigger issue in the Democratic Party, the lack of a cohesive strategy. Some insiders are saying this vote wasn't just a slip-up by Schumer, but proof of a deeper identity crisis. Are Democrats the party of bold progressivism? Or are they clinging to outdated playbooks of bipartisanship that no longer work in today's cutthroat political arena? This split is becoming painfully obvious, especially as younger, more progressive members demand a more aggressive approach, while the old guard preaches patience and compromise. It's a tug-of-war that's playing out in real time with voters stuck in the middle.
It's the more insidious, secret partisan behavior of very liberal-dominated newsrooms working at the supposedly impartial.
And the timing couldn't be worse. With Trump's resurgence and Musk's growing influence in reshaping the government, Democrats can't afford to fumble the ball. The public is watching, and every misstep, like Schumer's vote, gets amplified. Critics are quick to point out that this isn't just about holding the line on policy, it's about showing strength. If Democrats can't prove they're willing to fight tooth and nail, what's to stop Republicans from bulldozing through even more extreme legislation? The stakes aren't just high, they're existential. Even members of the public are picking up on this internal conflict. At another recent town hall, a frustrated voter reportedly stood up and asked why Democrats are fighting among themselves when the real fight is against Trump's agenda. That sentiment has been echoed across social media, where some are demanding Democrats stop the infighting and focus on building a united front. But with leadership like Schumer's, which many perceive as reactive rather than proactive, it's clear that unity is easier said than done. Meanwhile, the backlash from Democratic voters has been fierce. Many feel like Schumer betrayed them by working with Trump and the Republicans. One attendee at a recent town hall put it bluntly, that they just want to make sure their family's going to make it through the next 4 years. Everything's really scary right now. When your voters are that worried, it's not a good look.
But I would tell them to look at themselves very hard in the mirror and say, have we really not brought this on ourselves?
But not everyone's piling on. Some people, including a few fans in the YouTube comments section, have a more sympathetic take. One commenter wrote, "The fact that a politician is trying to work with the other side of the aisle to try to accomplish things for the American people and gets criticized and beaten down for it is a very sad state. We are all Americans and should be working together for the common good." Fair point, but in today's polarized climate, bipartisanship often looks more like betrayal than cooperation. Of course, there are also those who find this whole situation downright hilarious. Another commenter quipped, "Sunny is so passionate about the issues that she has to read them off a flashcard. Oof." Shots fired at Hostin, who's known for her fiery takes, but sometimes gets called out for being a little too rehearsed. So where does all this leave Schumer? Well, he's still standing for now. But the calls for new leadership are growing louder, and it's clear that his days as the de facto face of Senate Democrats might be numbered. Whether or not he steps down, one thing is certain: this controversy has exposed some deep rifts within the Democratic Party. And with Trump and his allies gearing up for another round of chaos, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Having some more conservative voices on your network, actually not making them pariahs, not directing your audience to feel that everything that Donald Trump does.
Now, here's the big question. Was Schumer's decision the right call, or did he sell out his party's values to avoid a government shutdown? And more importantly, can the Democrats recover from this internal turmoil in time to mount a united front against Trump? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and as always, stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding drama. See you next time.